Howdy people, this is Carla, and this time I'm back with a review for episode 15 of season 4 of TNT's show Major Crimes. This episode is titled The Jumping Off Point, and what a great episode, man. That was so great. I just finished watching it, and I've got a smile on my face that I just can't erase, okay? It was so great. First of all, yay, Patrice. I love her. I love seeing her. I love that she's back. Every time Patrice is in an episode, the episode is awesome. That's the way things are, okay? That's the way the universe runs. Sun sets in the west and comes out in the east. And every time Patrice is in a Major Crimes episode, the episode is awesome. That's just law of the universe, okay? So, I was so happy to see her. I mean, first of all, because we generally tend to see her interacting with Provenza. So it was great to see her interacting with Andy too, because it reminds me that she's a caretaker. She's a nurse, but she's just really a caretaker. That's just her personality. It's not just her job. That's who she is. And I like that she can also make people like Andy feel better about where they are. Because we've all had that kind of moment, I remember me with my grandma when she starts having health issues that she just won't recognize because she thinks it will make her feel like an invalid or something, and she doesn't like people helping her because she thinks she can do things herself. So I think everybody who has, people who have health issues in their family kind of knows what that's like, and I like that Patrice can reassure Andy a little bit about, how he has to take care of himself and why going back to Sharon's place is a good thing and stuff like that, while still understanding how he feels, and the fact that he doesn't want to just be a patient for an indeterminate amount of time. So Patrice is awesome, and I love having her back on the show, and her subplot with Provenza. Oh my god, I keep calling him Louis now because I don't know, I just love Patrice that much, and she calls him Louis. But Provenza, that subplot was adorable. Okay, you don't think I've been in so many fandoms by this point, and I tend to always it's very few of them that I don't have one pairing that I just love. Your OTP or one true pairing or whatever you want to call it. In most of them I do, and because of most of my fandoms tend to be younger, there's a lot of that thing where you just ship these two because they look good together or because they're both hot or whatever. I love that Major Crimes can make me squeal just as hard for a couple like Provenza and Patrice, okay? It's just awesome. They are adorable. I seriously squealed at the end. I thought the I do thing was a little cheesy, but it was just adorable. Come on, it's Provenza. He's born to be cheesy. Okay, you can hear it in my voice right now, but I'm smiling so much. I can't help myself because they're adorable. And I like that at first Patrice was like, wait, what? Marriage? Who spoke about marriage? I'm like, really? You didn't see that coming? But I like that she went back and tried to make things right again, just in case Provenza wanted to do something special. And it was so cute. It was just adorable. And then Provenza was so excited to, tonight's gonna be the night. And I was like, wait, at first I thought he was talking about sex, and I'm like, should I be hearing this? But then when everything started, when Andy finally blurted it out that he was thinking about marriage, I'm like, oh, that was the night. That's what he meant. So they're adorable. I'm smiling so hard because they're just way too cute, and I love them, and I'm so glad that they're, taking the next step, because Patrice needs to be around for a long, long time because she is awesome. Apart from that, the case itself was actually it hit me really hard. It's funny because it's something that you usually can't relate to all that much. At least I can't, because I'm a girl and I'm straight, and it's kind of I would never really relate to case about, you know, gay prostitutes being kept by this one very aggressive man, but at the same time, it's something that's been done so many times with women, not just in TV, but it also happens in real life. And I thought it was a very refreshing take, because yes, abuse can happen not just to women, but also to men as well, especially gay men who are in a position of vulnerability, like prostitution would be. I thought it was very hard-hitting, and when that, it hit me differently at different points. Like, at the beginning, just the whole thing with the mom, she was so sad. I felt really bad for her, and I could also see, everything made sense later on as to why the father was so pissed off at his son, because that guy, he was kind of the quintessential man's man and strong and whatever, and I can see him putting down his son for not just his sexual orientation, but just the fact that he was advertising himself online and whatever. And I can understand why the guy pushed him away. I mean, obviously I don't agree with it, but it made sense, and the pain the mother was going through was so hard for me to watch. I mean, great acting right there, because she really had me choked up a bit, just imagining what that must feel like. It must be terrible. And then it kind of sucks, because then the hip-hop artist came. I didn't know the difference either, so that was good that they told me. I'm sorry, I'm not into hip-hop or rap, so I don't really know, but it's good that they explained it, because I was very much like Provence in that aspect. I didn't know what the difference was, but it's good, now I know. And then when the hip-hop artist came up, and his, all the performances of the people involved in this case were actually really good, because that guy, I mean, obviously he didn't start crying like the mother did, but you could see him get choked up too, because apparently he really loved the victim. So, and it felt genuine. It felt, I don't know, it just hit me. It really made me feel for him, because they thought they would have a good life together, and they just couldn't get past the fact that this other dude was, keeping the victim to himself, and would lash out if they threatened to, break that arrangement in any way. So it felt really bad for the guy, because they obviously really loved each other, regardless of how it started. You can find love everywhere, anywhere. So it was interesting. And then the other guy, I mean, I liked the idea that it wasn't the first time that this happened, because then that way the killer doesn't have the excuse of, I lost my temper once. No, you have a history of this, okay? It's in you, and you have to pay for it, because it's not the first time you do it. So when they revealed that this victim they had wasn't the first one who they had with that arrangement with the guy, I got chills. I really was not expecting that. Honestly, I thought this would be the one time, and the guy would be like, I lost my temper, I'm sorry, and they'd have to offer him a deal. But I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that this guy was really, really messed up. There's no gray area there. He's an asshole, he's a murderer, he's a psycho, and he has to pay for it, so it's good. What's not good is, of course, for the other kid, the one who was in prison, who was unfortunately raped, because, oh God, his words were so, it gave me goosebumps when he was like, wait, is it rape if it's to someone like me? And I'm like, yes, heck yes it is. Because even people like sex workers and, supposedly easy or slutty people, they still have to give their consent. So I thought that was a great thing that they did in, showing that even if you are, free to give out your body however you please, the moment you say no, it's no, no matter who you are or what you do or what you use sex for. So that was heartbreaking. I mean, that poor kid just having the realization that yes, he was raped. And I mean, I almost wish that Amy had been a little softer about it, because I mean, God, using the word rape must be really heavy for a person like that. And I understand, because I've heard it in other shows from other women who have been raped. And it's almost like using the word makes it more real to them. So I was almost hoping that Amy would be a little softer with the poor kid. But I'm glad they made a point of it, of saying, hey, even if you're a prostitute, if you don't want to do it and someone forces you, that is rape. Because it's something that needs to be said, okay? No, he wasn't asking for it because he's a prostitute. It's rape. You have to consent every single time. That is very important. And that poor kid, man. I mean, God, I felt so bad for him. It was heartbreaking, just this entire episode. As for who the killer was, I thought it was a bit predictable in a way, because, that one guy that they kind of feature a bit too much. So you sort of start thinking, oh, it's going to be this guy. The one we saw at the beginning who was around a little bit too much. Yeah, it's got to be him. So I knew it was going to be him, but I thought it was very interesting the way they made it him. The way he operated, that he like switched the people he kept in the apartment, every few months, and the fact that he took the identity of one of his tenants from another building, because it seemed at the beginning like a really kind of, offhanded remarks, like, oh, we own several buildings in the area, whatever. Yeah, you do. And you took the information from that one old guy, so you could just use it. You could use it with your victims, your kept man. And the fact that, he was this upstanding citizen with a kid and a wife in San Diego and whatever, I thought it was really interesting. The way they pulled it off. So even though I kind of knew it was going to be him, I didn't know how he was going to do it, or why he was doing it, or how he even got involved with the kid in the first place. So I thought that was very well done. And overall, this episode in general was pretty darn great. I even liked the bit with Slider, because that's also heartbreaking, because Rusty can't get involved in the case. Like, he can't do anything to help Slider. He can't. That was part of the deal to get him to talk to Slider, that he wouldn't do anything to help him at all. And even at that point, Slider's kind of getting attached to him, it's like, oh, now we're friends, when Rusty's like, we really aren't. I mean, you could see him thinking that's like, what the heck is going on here? But it's interesting because, Slider did kill people, he did kill that Mariana girl, and he's in jail because of that, and he has to pay for it. But at the same time, he's obviously not okay in a way. He doesn't have anyone, and you can sort of see that how his background made him who he is, but at the same time that's no excuse. So it puts Rusty on a difficult position where he understands where Slider's coming from. Maybe he even kind of empathizes it a little bit. But at the same time, he can't help Slider, and he shouldn't help Slider, because Slider has to pay for what he did. And unfortunately, that's going to mean more than likely a death penalty. So, it's a very delicate situation. I'm kind of really happy that they're going that way, because it's not always black and white. I mean, in today's case, it was. So that's an interesting juxtaposition of the fact that this dude was a serious psycho murderer who raped people and kept them prisoners, basically. While on the other hand, you have Slider, who, yes, did kill one girl, but at the same time, he's a kid. A kid who has nobody, and who's always had to look up for himself, and nobody to tell him to teach him what is right and what is wrong. So, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I still hope Slider gets convicted, because, again, he killed a woman, and he killed a girl, and he should know better than that. Like, it should be something that just comes from within in any human being, to not kill people. But at the same time, I think it's interesting, and I like how he's making Rusty, kind of like putting him in an awkward position. But I guess we'll see where that goes. All I know is that this episode was pretty great. It made me smile. It tugged at my heartstrings. It made me feel really, really emotional at points, really happy at other points. So I thought it was a great episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this Slider thing next. But all in all, I really loved this one. It was really great. So yeah, that's about it for now. If you guys want to see more Major Crimes reviews, we've been doing this show since the second half of season 4 started, so you be sure to stop by our website, thegeekypub.com, for previous reviews from the show. And also, we have reviews for other TV shows, for books, for movies, games. We have a ton of stuff in there, so be sure to check it out. If you guys want to be notified as soon as these reviews go up, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's where they go up first, even before we post them to the website. So be sure to subscribe so you will know right away when we upload something new. And yeah, that's about it for now. I will see you guys in my next review. So bye.